Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for your support on Patreon, Kratos' forgotten son, Christos Petru. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I am El Fakador Laurie Blake, and today's video is sponsored by Wrestling Arcade's Kickstarter project, Pro Wrestling's Greatest Moments, a Pixelated Guide. Now, Wrestling Arcade is a fantastic Twitter account which recreates classic wrestling moments in glorious 16-bit graphics from the golden age of video games where... It's just written insert joke here. Brilliant, Luke. In glorious 16-bit graphics from the golden age of video games that Luke Owen has never left. You may even recognise their work from the intro of Being the Elite from AEW co-founders the Young Bucks. This month, Wrestling Arcade launched a Kickstarter for a coffee table book version of their work, which will cover classic moments from WWE, WCW, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan, NXT, AEW, and more. I'm hoping for that time that Jeff Hardy was off his face in the match against Sting. The book will contain nearly 400 pages of moments hand-created in pixelated goodness. The book has already had support from Sasha Banks, Zack Ryder, Joey Janela, and Kenny Omega, so why not show your support too and hang out with the greats? You can find more information on the book by clicking the link in the description below, and you can get involved from as little as $6. The Kickstarter ends very soon though, so get involved quick. Support WrestleTalk and support Wrestling Arcade. Time to start the news off properly now, and we kick off with something of a tradition for WWE stars whose career in the company seems to be turning south a little bit. And no, it's not going to the indies and becoming really popular, it's doing a rap song. Obviously. Thankfully for Lio Rush though, this isn't an Enzo Amore level cry for attention, but instead a sort of lo-fi musing called Scenic Lullaby. One other key difference to Enzo is that you can actually hear what Lio is saying. Because you're not just shining like a phoenix could sense your pain. And while Gossip Hounds might be annoyed that Lio isn't opening up about his difficulties at WWE through the medium of music, he did definitely take one thing away from the company, looking at things side on. Because backstage in his bathroom, he's watching this lady dance and also giving the camera the side eye at the same time. Someone else getting some serious side eye from the internet over the weekend was Renee Young, who not only drew the ire of Luke Owen for saying, "I would love it if adult men would stop tucking their ears into their baseball hats," but genuinely, she's right. I mean, I don't think I can get my ears into them. But she's also a woman on social media, no less, so there must be a man around here to come and put her in her place. I would love it if WWE would stop putting announcers on their shows. Maro and Nigel are the only good ones. Thank God for that. I thought she was going to get away with airing her joke opinion for a second there. Now, this rather douchey tweet weirdly prompted a moment of openness and honesty from Renee, who said, "Here's the truth. I know I'm not great on commentary, but it's my job. I try to get better each week. People love to tell me how bad I am at it as if I think I'm great at it. So should I just quit? What would that say about me? Not easy to learn a skill on a gigantic global TV show. It really is a heck of a skill to try and pick up. You try getting your thoughts in order and communicating coherently while someone just shouts in your ear the entire time." I mean, it's basically the same as Renee's experience on Twitter, so I don't know. Maybe that's good practice. The tweet prompted an overwhelming response from WWE superstars showing their support for Renee, and one, Seth Rollins especially, who has worked out how to wield the power of Twitter for good finally. Yes. He still gets paid more though. No idea how I got tagged into this thread / these tweets, but Renee Young is a trailblazing badass and awesome at her gig. And if anyone uses their cowardly thumbs to belittle her, then I hope those folks drown in their shame. You rock, Renee. Speaking of Rollins' Twitter use, it has all just become a bit of fun banter now, hasn't it? Cageside Seats tweeted to say, "I think I would sell my soul to have heel Seth Rollins back. #Raw Reunion." To which Rollins replied, "Haven't you been on the internet in the last month? #already back." Now, I don't know if you watched or cared, but SmackVille, the sort of SmackDown live event from Nashville that has a terrible name, happened on Saturday night, and the glorified house show was set to have Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental title on the card, Kevin Owens versus Elias, and Kofi Kingston defending the WWE title against Samoa Joe and Dolph Ziggler. And I'm going to spoil what happened now. So, if you can genuinely muster up the effort to even care, you probably want to skip ahead a little bit. Right, for those of you still here, which I suspect is most of you, the show went pretty much as expected. Nothing interesting happened and everyone retained. Owens beat Elias with a stunner, Kofi hit Joe with a Trouble in Paradise and won. Well, almost interestingly, Nakamura actually ended up defending the belt against Ali as Balor had to pull out. WWE announced that during the week, Finn Balor suffered an undisclosed injury. WWE Medical has unfortunately not cleared him for competition tonight at #SmackVille. It is unknown who or if Shinsuke defends his title tonight. Stay tuned as we learn more. What we need to learn more of is grammar, who or if. Here's the funny thing, it actually turned out that Balor was not injured, he was dealing with an illness as reported by Fightful and PW Insider. On Wrestling Observer Radio, they revealed that Balor had been hospitalized with the stomach flu, which obviously doesn't sound quite as tough as undisclosed injury. The demon got the flu doesn't quite have the same macho vibe. But while hospital is obviously serious, WWE are hopeful that Balor will be back in action this week, having scheduled him for a match that will set the card alight on this week's SmackDown. Balor versus Ziggler. Is anyone rooting for the flu? Someone who didn't get off so lightly in the injury stakes is NXT superstar Karen Q, who suffered a broken leg at an NXT live event in Atlanta. During a tag match, she teamed with Bianca Belair to take on Rhea Ripley and Reina Gonzalez, and while her team won the match, it finished with her being tended to on the outside before being helped to the back by officials. Now here's some video of what appears to be the injury, so if you're a little bit squeamish, best to look away, eh? Post-match, Karen tweeted a picture of the break and her smiling in a wheelchair, which is either a brave face or her off her face on pain meds. It's up to you to decide. She said, "Unfortunately, I won't be able to finish the NXT road trip. I'm so proud of the matches I had this weekend and grateful to have the best family, friends, and co-workers. My leg is broken, but I will be back. Thanks to all who have reached out and showed me love. #hold my drink, I'll be back." The drink being morphine. Now, the recovery time for something like this can be anywhere up to 6 months. So here's wishing Karen all the best and a speedy recovery. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't the end of NXT's injury woes, as Rachel Ellering reportedly suffered a knee injury during a match in Fort Pierce on Saturday. Ellering was taking on Lacey Lane, but the match had to be called off after Ellering seemingly hurt her knee. Medical officials then helped her to the back. Now, Ruben Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that Rachel blew out her knee, but gave no additional details. Hopefully, though, it's nothing properly serious and she'll be back before you know it. Which would be great because big returns from injury are so on vogue right now, because Tegan Knox finally returned to the ring at an NXT Orlando show last week, sporting a shiny and really rather heavy-duty knee brace. If you cast your mind back, Knox went out injured after suffering the most gruesome list of injuries to her knee and leg in a match against Rhea Ripley at last year's Mae Young Classic. During her return match, she teamed with Jessica Mia against that team of lowers, Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, who's got out of the cupboard again. You're meant to be keeping an eye on her. Knox reportedly got the hot tag and finished things off with a fireman's carry stunner. There were no reports of her using her shiniest shining wizard. Probably because bashing your knee into someone's face is a little bit risky if it's liable to explode on contact. Tegan then hit Twitter to thank the crowd in attendance, saying, "The reaction to last night's events made me make a smile that has been missing for a very long time. Thank you." One person backing Tegan's return was Tommaso Ciampa, who knows a thing or two about returning from injury. Or should that be a thing or three, because he might be back sooner than you think. Because according to Fightful, Ciampa's expected return date is mid-August per a WWE report. Now, while this is by no means a confirmation and more of a guideline of when the company expects people to be ready, Ciampa himself has been teasing the return on Twitter, saying, "I went tanning for the first time since neck surgery. I used the lay-down bed. I didn't need to stack towels, felt zero discomfort, and did not lose feeling in my hands." Round of applause. So expect Ciampa to be the greatest, bronzest sports entertainer of all time on his return. One other little interesting tidbit is that the same WWE report also listed Bobby Lashley as inactive, and he last competed on Raw on July 15th, but hasn't actually worked a live event since June, so there's speculation that he might be injured. But while Lashley is out, Trish Stratus may reportedly be back. News last week suggested that we are heading for Charlotte Flair versus Trish at SummerSlam, and it's a feud that basically writes itself. It does need some TV time in order to set up because, for one thing, Trish ain't around anymore. She doesn't really work there, so why would she feud with Charlotte Flair? So in order to bring Trish back into the fold on SmackDown this week, they're putting her over in the way that made her so popular in the Attitude Era, having Jerry Lawler scream "puppies" at her. Because the King is also returning to SmackDown to host a King's Court with Trish and hopefully put her over properly rather than just leering at her tits. I mean, the least he can do is not be childish and refer to them as puppies, because that will not do for a woman of Trish's tenure. It's 2019. Loyal hounds will do. As a special treat for the SWAF Nation, if you visit WrestleCrate.co.uk and you use the discount code WTTV, you will get a free autograph bundle. WrestleCrate is a monthly mystery box full of loads of wrestling goodies, which has items from the biggest promotions in wrestling. So use the code WTTV at WrestleCrate.co.uk and get a free welcome gift. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all of the names scrolling away beneath me for being our awesome pledge hammers on Patreon. And if you're interested in everything Marvel, head on over to Screen Stalker to see Ollie and Luke discuss a deleted ending for Avengers Endgame, which has been revealed finally, and also the story of GTA 5's cancelled story DLC. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.